Friends, we can all see that many white bloggers have millions of followers. Please support me too, because my followers are still few. Black bloggers also deserve to be famous. Raised fist medium dark skin tone. My friends, let's unite and lift each other up. Please press subscribe button and like. A thick, heavy silence fell over the street. The entire world seemed to hold its breath. Miller stammered, his arrogance gone, replaced by a pathetic desperation. Sir, we had a report of a... Your report is irrelevant. Colonel Harding's voice sliced through the radio like ice. I deal in facts. Have you ever laid eyes on this ranger before in your life? No, sir. Then you will release him. I am on my way. My ETA is 15 minutes. If Sergeant Grant is still in handcuffs when I arrive, I will personally ensure that your chief, the mayor, and every news station in the state understands exactly how the Dalton PD welcomes home its veterans. The radio went dead. Are we clear? Yes, sir, Miller mumbled to the empty air. The line clicked off. He turned to Isaiah, but his eyes couldn't meet the sergeant's steady, unwavering gaze. They darted everywhere else. The younger officer, looking terrified, scrambled for the handcuff key. Click, click, the cuffs fell away. Isaiah didn't say a word. He just rubbed his wrists. The angry red marks a testament to the officer's aggression. Every phone was still recording. Every eye was on Miller. No apology came. None was expected. The officer's public humiliation was louder than any words could ever be. Less than 10 minutes later, a black government sedan tore down the street and screeched to a halt. Colonel Harding stepped out, his own dress uniform immaculate. The rows of medals on his chest were a silent rebuke. He didn't slam the door, but his presence hit the street with the force of a shockwave. Miller and his partner stiffened, trying to look professional, but they just looked like children caught in a lie. Sergeant Grant, the colonel said, his voice a sharp crack of respect. Sir, Isaiah replied, a hint of relief finally entering his voice. Wasn't expecting to see you off base. Colonel Harding then fixed his gaze on the two officers. His voice was quiet, but it cut through the air. Which one of you made the decision to put a United States Army Ranger in handcuffs? Miller visibly flinched. He swallowed hard. That was me, sir. I was acting on a civilian report. Was he armed? The colonel shot back. No, sir. Was he threatening you? No, sir. Did he resist you in any way whatsoever? Miller just shook his head, his eyes glued to the pavement. No, sir. Then explain it to me, officer. The colonel's voice was dangerously low, each word dripping with contempt. Explain to me, to this crowd, and to every person who is about to see this video, what precise action made you believe a decorated soldier in full uniform who had already identified himself was such a threat that he needed to be restrained like a common felon? The question hung in the air, a public indictment. Miller shuffled his feet, his face turning a deep, blotchy red. All he could manage was a weak, pathetic whisper. It was a mistake, sir. No! Colonel Harding snapped, his voice like a whip crack. A mistake is a typo on a report. This was a choice you made based on prejudice, not procedure. This entire neighborhood just watched you assault a man who has risked his life for this country, all because he stopped by a bottle of water. Jamal stepped forward, holding up his phone. Sir, I've got the whole thing right here. The way he talked down to him, the way he shoved him against the car, it's already being sent around. The colonel gave Jamal a single sharp nod of approval. Good. Make sure everyone sees it. He turned back to Isaiah and put a firm hand on his shoulder. Are you all right, Sergeant? Isaiah managed a tight smile. I'll be fine, sir. Just disappointed to be home. I wish I could say I was surprised. Harding said just as an unmarked sedan pulled up. A man in a suit, Deputy Chief Bishop, stepped out, his face pale and already sweating. He was clearly in damage control mode. Colonel, Bishop said, rushing over. I've seen the video. It's unacceptable. Unacceptable doesn't begin to cover it, Chief, Harding replied, his voice like ice. This is a disgrace, and you need to get ahead of it because in 30 minutes, that video won't just be a local problem. It'll be national news, and your department will be the new poster child for police misconduct. We're launching an immediate internal review, Bishop said quickly. Both officers will be placed on administrative leave, effective immediately. Harding laughed, a harsh, humorless sound. Leave? You think a paid vacation is justice? That's not even close. He took a step toward the deputy chief, his presence dominating the space between them. Here's what's going to happen. You are going to fire this officer today. You are going to hold a press conference, and you are going to announce it. You will tell the public exactly what he did and exactly how you are going to cut the cancer out of your department. That is the only acceptable outcome. Deputy Chief Bishop stared speechless as the colonel's words hung in the air like a death sentence. Yes, sir, he finally choked out, already fumbling for his phone. By that evening, the video was a firestorm. It wasn't just a news story. It was a symbol of injustice that enraged people across the country. The Dalton Police Department's phone lines were overwhelmed. The pressure was unbearable. But the real justice wasn't on television. It happened in a small, sterile office at the downtown precinct. Miller sat opposite Deputy Chief Bishop, his face ashen. He'd been called an hour ago, his swagger gone, replaced by a raw, gnawing fear. I've reviewed the unedited body cam footage, Miller, Bishop said, his voice flat and dead. I've read 17 formal complaints filed against you in the last 2 years alone. But this time there's a video. There's a colonel, and the entire country is watching. He slid 3 items across the polished desk, a resignation form, a pen, and a cardboard box. You have 2 options. You can sign this, walk out of here, and disappear, or you can refuse, and I will terminate you for cause, which will ensure you can never be a police officer again, anywhere. Then I will personally hand your entire file to the district attorney's office to consider criminal charges for assault. Miller stared at the paper, his hands trembling. His career, his authority, his very identity. It was all evaporating in this quiet, humiliating room. He looked up, searching for a lifeline, but found only the cold, hard stare of his superior. Slowly, he picked up the pen. Your badge and your weapon, Bishop ordered. With a shaking hand, Miller unclipped the badge from his uniform. It felt weightless, a cheap piece of tin. He placed it on the desk. Then he unholstered his service weapon, cleared the chamber, and laid it beside the badge. The sound of the plastic hitting the wood was deafeningly final. He signed the paper, his signature a pathetic, illegible scrawl. His final act as a police officer was one of complete and utter surrender. That night, Isaiah sat on the porch with Mama Rose. The air was calm. The street was quiet. They fired him, she said softly. It wasn't a question. Yes, ma'am, Isaiah replied, looking out at the peaceful dark. They did. She put her hand on his. It was warm, steady. You didn't start that fight, baby, but you sure as hell finished it. A car drove by, and the driver, a neighbor, gave a small wave. Isaiah waved back. No cameras, no flashing lights, just a quiet satisfaction of a debt paid in full. Justice didn't always need to shout. Sometimes it was as simple and as powerful as a corrupt man being forced a hand over his badge.